Patterson heads to Utah to look at how the gender gap could be a deciding factor in the 2024 election.
Most weekends, you'll find this patriotic procession cruising through town. Here in Utah, they call this a Trump train and hope to turn heads and maybe voters too. It's mostly young men behind the wheel, and they're backing the only man in November's race for the White House. 24-year-old Brendan Bull, a local mine worker, looks back fondly on Donald Trump's first term in office.
Everything went down, gas prices, rent, mortgages, everybody's pay went up. He just knows how it all works.
And if Kamala Harris gets in?
World War III, guaranteed.
Research from Harvard found Democrats are losing ground with young men, dropping from 42% in 2020 to 32% now. They're turning instead to Trump's populist promise for America.
He's got guts and he's got grit, and he literally is, in my opinion, the only thing standing in the way of them taking over what we all have known to grow and love here.
The former president says he'll stand up to China, end all world wars, and assert America's dominance on the world stage.
It helps us to be respected by the other countries, and we can get the prices we need for things.
He's also promised a U-turn on production of electric vehicles and plans to boost oil and natural gas production. For the truck enthusiasts gathered here in rural Utah, their engines might be loud, but it's their message that's deafening. They say Donald Trump will make America manly again and set the country back on the road to greatness. But men alone won't put Trump back in the Oval Office. In 2016, a majority of white women voted for him.
Trump has gone to court for sexual abuse, and he's claimed to have touched women's genitals. Does that worry you to have that type of person in the White House?
No, I think anybody can make remarks, and whether the statements are true or not, that's not his role as a president. His role is to govern us and lead us as a country.
I agree. I feel like we focus more on who is he as a leader rather than who he is as a person.
Utah has long been a Republican stronghold, with nearly 80% of the state's sizable Mormon population historically backing the GOP. But on the shores of the Great Salt Lake, there's a sense the tide is turning.
Make it personable, make it fun, because these are Americans that we're all going to try and get out to vote.
Kamala Harris, replacing President Joe Biden on the Democratic ticket, gave these Utah University students a sense of renewed optimism. Gen Z women have become the most progressive group in U.S. history, and they're much more likely to actually vote than young men. It's a generation that came of age in the Me Too era and were galvanized to take action after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. American women are more liberal than ever and are shifting to the left. Abortion, healthcare, childcare. Harris's core messaging is landing with voters here.
It's just really cool being able, this is my first time voting, be able to have a woman as a candidate.
For some seasoned female Republicans, it could be their first time voting blue.
Being a Republican, I know they want limited government, but I cannot support a presidential candidate that's not for women.
For the Americans still reeling from Trump's first tenure, Harris represents a path forward.
Women have the power to do a lot more of the negotiating, of the compromising, of building unity, bringing people together.
In 2024, the battle of the ballots could come down to men versus women, each driven by a very different vision for America's future. Sally Patterson, CNA, Cedar City, Utah.